shakes beneath our feet. The pounding odds refuse defeat. Tonight we make our last stand. With bloody fists and broken hands. The fire burns, the line won't break. Tonight's the night we choose our fate. Shadows stretch long, the sky turns red. Echoes of screams from the lives we've bled. Every mile, every fight, every thread pulled us tighter to where we're led. The ground it cracks, the winds they roar, but we won't bow, not anymore. Tonight we make our last stand. With bloody fists and broken hands. The fire burns, the line won't break. Tonight's the night we choose our fate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to World Wrestling Affliction. It is our night 2 of our last stand PLE. Now we have some amazing matches planned for you here this evening, and it's going to be an amazing second half to what was already an amazing first half of this PLE. Now, I want to apologize for the long break that we've had in this channel. As you can hear in my voice, I haven't had much of a voice, and when I do have a voice, I don't really have the motivation to sit down and record. But that's changing, especially today, as of recording this day and the day that this will be uploaded. I have the whole day to myself, plus all night. All my housemates are gone for the night, so I am able to scream through the whole night. So I want to get as much recorded and edited and caught up to as far as we can in the series, and then over the next few days I'm just going to shotgun upload them all. So hopefully I can get enough done, so come like Monday next week, when I have more time to sit down and record to finish it off, we'll have the series finished by next week, hopefully. That all really depends on my voice, and how much time I get to record. My cough is getting worse, so and as you can probably hear in my my throat, it is wrecking my vocal cords. So I will try get through this. You know, I love screaming in my commentary. I love being animated, but you know, sometimes I may need to give my voice a break, especially if I'm trying to edit like 16 or something episodes. That is a lot to get through in a short amount of time with a bad throat and like sore voice. A bad voice and a sore throat, that's what I'm trying to say. But I want to get this series finished in preparation for 2K26 coming out in a couple of months. if I have this series finished, I can take a couple month break, sit down, actually like plan out the next season of where I want to take it. I already have some ideas after um as of this I finished like recording the the gameplay for the rest of this season. I've still got a couple of promos to do in between um like certain videos, but that takes a couple of minutes. Um but that being said, like it's very much, you know, I'm coming to the end game of this series, and I'm just trying to smash it out so it's ready. I can take a month or two break. I don't know if they've announced the they've announced the release date as of today. I'm not sure if that's been announced yet, but knowing 2K releases, it's probably going to be like mid to late March, early April. So being like the um the end of January as of recording this, I can basically, if I shotgun this uploads, get these last like I think it's 16 episodes including PLEs or something like that to record. I'm sorry if you can hear the dog in the background. I'm not gonna pause recording for him. You're just gonna have to deal with it. But yeah, essentially, if I can shotgun this in the next couple of days, but I can like take all of February off, try rest my voice, going back to see the doctor on Thursday to try work out why I'm still coughing after like weeks and weeks. We've been trying like asthma puffers and everything, and it still hasn't been working. So yeah, that's basically it. I swear every time I do a video recording, I have updates to do because it's taken me so long to record another episode. But yeah, I think I've basically covered everything. If you see a lot of uploads coming throughout the next few days, then don't be worried. It's basically just me trying to um, basically just me trying to use the most of the time that I've got while I've got, you know, the house to myself with, you know, other than my dog barking in the background, no, like, people to worry about yelling and getting in trouble for yelling, so I can try get this done, especially while I've got the motivation to do it as well. Like, it's currently like 8 a.m. right now that I'm filming this. I finished recording the gameplay for the last PLE to like wrap up the season at like 2:30 this morning, and I was like, holy shit, this is epic. I want to get to like recording this and like commentary, because the commentary is going to be wild for that last PLE. I don't want to hype it up too much, but let's just say I definitely cooked in the final PLE. A few good moments there to, you know, start the or end the series. Originally it was going to be the end of the series. Like I wasn't going to continue in WWE2K26, but after recording that PLE, I'm like, holy shit, like everything that happened in that PLE, I'm like, I need to continue the story. Like I can't leave it where these stories are left off. Like I wrote off a lot of the stories that happened in the series. Like this is spoilers, and I apologize, but I'm not saying anything of like what matches are happening and everything. But let's just say a bunch of storylines that span from even the first episode of the series got their finalization in the main event. Like that was the whole plan. Finalize every story and have it so that you know that if I wasn't going to do a 2K26, the series ended and was finalized. But then it came to the point where I'm like, holy shit, like, I can take this story in this direction now. I can take this story in this direction with this character. And I'm like, I don't want to end this because I'm like, I've just set up a whole new season of whole new stories while wrapping up all the old stories. So, yeah, there definitely will be a 2K26 series. I don't know how soon after the game it'll come out. I mean, I take a long time to create wrestlers. Like my TK Landon, my Castro Lazara, and my Amber Valentine, they like get smashed out first day because they're part of other EFEDs, and like I I have to have them ready for those shows. Um, but like the rest, I take forever. And in that taking forever, I get lazy. You probably noticed with a bunch of with the CAWs in this season, they were very, very bland. Even like my championships were very bland. If I continue into the next series, then or like when I continue into the next series, that's not an if. I'm going to like try tackle better cores, better titles. I want it to be like a whole better brand. Um, Not that I wasn't happy with this one, but it was just like a lot that I wasn't happy with. So I want to change that in the next series. So I want to take some time to actually develop people, probably bring in some new characters, maybe bring in some like old characters from like TKWF that didn't make it into this season. I mean, I basically had Parabellum run the whole way through this season. Up until this point, I'm not going to mention any spoilers for what happens after this PLE, but I'm like, they used up a lot of the screen time. Now that once that story is told, it frees up more space for new people to come in and make a name for themselves, or people to be pushed up the card that weren't in the card. But for now, I'm gonna get into actually commentating. I just wanted to have a bit of a talk with you guys. Now that I know that I'm keeping up with the next season, I'm trying to smash out as many of these episodes as I can today. Trying to keep my voice like safe-ish, and just I'll probably record like 2 or 3 episodes, take a break, record another 2 or 3 episodes, and then like the PLEs are gonna take forever because they're like an hour per episode. But for now, let's move into the actual commentary. We just had an amazing Extreme Rules match there, ladies and gentlemen. Yamamoto coming out with the victory. TK Landon has not had the best luck this season, especially when it comes to taking on Bushido. How that's going to turn into the next series, I don't know. But as I was saying, I don't know how he's going to do for the rest of the season dealing with Bushido. That match was meant to be like the definitive end of the Bushido TK Landon era, and TK Landon came out with a loss, so not something you're particularly used to. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the definitive end to the Undesirables versus the Church of Anarchy. Or is it the Church of Anarchy or the Circus of Anarchy? I can't remember. I think it's the Church. But these guys have been going at it back and forth. It all started when it came to a couple weeks ago when we had a tournament for something, if I remember correctly. And I can't remember what the tournament was, but I remember having a tournament. It's been so long since I recorded, I can't remember what the tournament was. But these guys right here, the Undesirables, the former generation, along with DOC, the designer of Chaos, basically feuded with these guys here in the Church of Anarchy, and it spurned into the Undesirables becoming a team. And they've been fighting ever since, and it's culminating here in this 6-man tornado tag team match. First fall to a finish, and it's just going to be chaos, guys. I don't know how I'm going to be able to call this. This probably should have been the match where I had all my spiel, because then I could like focus my voice and just let the action happen in the background. But that being said, this is going to be, pardon the pun, anarchy here in the string. I mean, you've got 3 members on each team just fighting it out all across the ring. Falls must happen inside the ring, 1 fall to a finish, and it is just utter chaos, basically. I mean, you just see bodies laid out everywhere, punches throwing, slams happening. You don't know what's going on. Oh, and the weapons are finally being brought in by TJ Dunn, taking out DOC there on the outside. Now you see a leg lock in the ring from the Monster and Jason North. And TJ Dunn. Oh, big suplex there. Then a sidewalk slam from Jason North. I swear I pronounced my L in that, but it came out as Sam, even though I said slam. I think it's my voice, but this is just utter chaos. Bodies strewn everywhere. Weapons used everywhere. It's just chaos in the ring right now. And that is basically what these guys wanted. It's just going to be a giant brawl between these 6 men. And, you know, one team's going to come out with the victory at the end. And all 6 men are going to fight their damnedest to make sure it's them that gets the victory. Oh, we got a roll up here. Can we see the count? 1. Oh, a reversal. And then the ref doesn't count it. I swear this ref, every time she's counting a match, she fails to count pinfalls. She's the whole reason that we had the whole drama with the Women's Tag Team Championships with the Rebel Club. And here we go with the pinfall, and the ref did not count again. She just stared at the pinfall, held her hand in the sky for what seemed like forever, not even making that first pinfall. It wouldn't have been a 3 count, but it would have been at least a 1 or 2 count had she have actually, you know, bloody counted. Like, I get that there's chaos in the ring, but when you're looking at the pinfall, hand in the air, surely your hand falls to make the pin. But what do I know? I'm just a commentator. I'm not someone in charge here. See how long she takes to make the pinfall? That could have easily been a 3 count there. She took so long to make the pinfall. Why our general manager, Mr. Davis Morris, even chooses to still hire her, I'll never know. On goes to the pin now. 1, 2. They kick out at 2. Now, a reminder, folks, our main event for the evening is the men's War Games match between Next Gen and Parabellum. Now, this is a war that's been started since our first PLE when Trav debuted attacking Lufa Ramon and, you know, essentially crowning himself champion. And that led to Castro basically starting a war. Well, the war was declared by Trav, but Castro has been fighting this war with them ever since. And this is the culmination of that war. Winners take all, with the World Championship, the Light Heavyweight Championship, and the Men's Tag Team Championships all on the line here this evening in that War Games match. But also, not to mention, we will have an open challenge for the Intercontinental Championship later on tonight as well. Who will challenge Andre Salas of Parabellum for his championship? That is the answer. But that is the question, sorry. Will we find out? Well, we will find out the answer. And so far, the Undesirables have basically been dominating this match. I mean, sure, the Church of Anarchy have had their moments. But for the most part, it's been the Undesirables dominating them. Oh, we've got a pinfall here. Could this be it? 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. Again, I feel like the ref was kind of slow on that pinfall. I mean, even if she was just checking for a submission, that seemed a bit long, but I digress. It seems the Church of Anarchy are finally starting to fight back now. Never mind, the Undesirables fighting back. Chase Samuels just falling off that top turnbuckle. Oh, we got a pinfall in the middle of the ring, 2, and only a 2 count. The monster kicks out. And as I say that, the Undesirables back on the offensive, back running the show. All 3 members of the Church of Anarchy on the ground, or being picked up by the other members. And you've just got spears. Oh my god. And there's blood, there's face paint everywhere. Alright, I won't blame the ref for that one. She got caught up on the monster in the corner. She couldn't get down to make the pinfall. That one I'll give her a bit of leeway for. And it was a pretty fast kick out anyway. It wouldn't have been anywhere near a 3 count. Then we go with the pinfall. Oh, but broken up by TJ Dunn. Jason North just stood there and watched. Didn't even try to break up the breakup. Oh my god. Shades of Bray Wyatt with that spider walk. The ref got taken out. When did the ref got taken out? I didn't even see that. I was too busy focusing on the spider walk. The ref got taken out. She's back up to the ring though. And here we go. Big power bomb from the monster. Big pedigree from TJ Dunn, but a rope break. The monster goes to the pin now. And the ref took forever to get down there. And the Sister Abigail coming from Isaiah Zank onto the monster. Now locking in that mandible claw once again. The Undesirables have everyone down. Goes for the cover. Could this be it? 1, 2. Oh my god, that would have been a 3 count if TJ Dunn hadn't have broken it up, saving his tag team partner. But now Jason North for the cover. 1, 2 and a breakup from Chase Samuels. It's ironic, the Undesirables have all 3 members of the enemy team, opponent team, whatever you want to call them, all 3 opponents on the ground at all times, but as soon as someone's going for a pin, they just suddenly stop keeping them on the ground. They just let them walk into the ring and break up the pinfall. It's quite interesting to me, if you ask me. Like, hey, they you know, they're doing so well, and then as soon as the pinfall attempt comes out, they're just like, yeah, go for it, break it up. Big boot there from DOC. The monster trips him up though. Big spine buster from North on the outside of the ring. The monster targeting DOC. Chase Samuels in the ring. Isaiah Zank on the outside of the ring on the floor. What's the monster going for? Oh, went for a big boot. DOC countered. Big Superman punch, but Chase Samuels cuts him off with that kendo stick. DOC going for a pinfall on Chase Samuels. Go for the cover. 1, 2, 3, and that's it. The Undesirables bring the victory home. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as our general manager put it, this was a clown circus taking on, I forgot the exact words, but it was essentially, words didn't come out of my mouth just then. It was just a bunch of syllables. It was essentially the lines of a group of hooligans taking on a church of clowns. And that is basically what this feud has been. Hopefully it's come to its final conclusion here as they take each other out in this brutal brawl that, you know, saw blood, face paint, weapons, bodies strewn across the ring, and it came down to DOC finally getting the pinfall on Chase Samuels after a brutal battle. The ref finally making a proper pinfall. You see there, 2 of 3 members of the Undesirables bleeding. And I'm pretty sure by the end of the match, all 3 members of the Church of Anarchy were bleeding. That was a brutal match. But congratulations to the Undesirables. But for now, we move on to our next match. And now I would be remiss to mention that this has been a successful night for the Undesirables. All 5 members of the Undesirables have left either holding the championships that they came in with or ending their rivalry with a victory. And ladies and gentlemen, we find out it is Big Ruthless Rush taking on our Intercontinental Champion, Andre Salas. Now, these 2 have a bit of history. It's quite an interesting showing to see this man accept the open challenge for the Intercontinental Championship. Will he be successful in dethroning a Parabellum member? So far, no Parabellum member has lost the championship here tonight. Though that being said, 3 of the championships haven't been defended yet in the main event that it will be coming after this match. And the 4th title, well, yeah, the 4th title will be defended in this match. So really it's just Kitty Hagen who's successfully defended her title. But I digress. Could Kitty Hagen start a chain reaction here? Will Andre Salas walk out of Last Stand, keeping the Intercontinental Championship in the grasp of Parabellum? Now, famously, Parabellum have held 5 championships across basically the entire season so far. With that man, Andre Salas, the Intercontinental Champion, Kitty Hagen, the Women's World Champion. Obviously, we have Jeremiah Stone as the Light Heavyweight Champion. We have Matoto Lee and Diego Natoli as the tag team champions, and then obviously Trav as our men's world champion. So the only titles that they don't currently hold are the women's tag team championships and the women's intercontinental championships. And they don't seem to be that into trying to hold those titles. I mean, even look at the match in the War Games match in the last part. The women's intercontinental title was on the line. Not a Parabellum member going for it. So maybe they're just not interested. Maybe they haven't found the right people to target those titles yet. But I digress. They seem to be growing in numbers more and more. So who knows how things will play out in the future. There you see the Intercontinental Champion Andres Salas taking on the big Ruthless Rush. Now these guys have a bit of history in TKWF facing each other for, I believe, if I remember correctly, either the Multi-Man Championship or the it would have been either the Multi-Man, Global, or Intercontinental Championships. Now the Global and Intercontinental Championships got fused, so technically it's the same lineage, but they were different titles at the time that these two were competing for them. I don't remember quite which championship. My historian brain is not running at its peak right now. But we start this semi-main event with this man, the big Ruthless Rush, stomping down on the champion. And in this type of match, you know, Andres Salas has to use his size disadvantage and his speed advantage to keep the bigger man down. I mean, the 7-foot tall Ruthless Rush is definitely a danger if he's on his feet. And Andres Salas knows that. I mean, they've versed each other multiple times. So he knows he has to keep Rush off his feet if he wants to win this match. And he's been doing that fairly well so far. But that being said, Rush just crushing the head of Andres Salas there. But Salas fighting back, fighting to his feet. Big sling blade, kick to the face, a kick to the head from Rush. And now just twisting the head off of Andres Salas here. Now Salas. Oh, big dive over the top rope there. He was ready to take Rush down. And as I said, you know, you want to keep Rush off his feet here in this match. And Salas is doing that. Weakening him down so that he can't get to his feet. Then decides to pick him up and put him on his feet anyway. But, you know, that's probably to try get him in the ring. Or just throw him around the ring. Beat him up quite a bit. And Salas, you know, using the outside to his advantage is probably a smart thing. You know, he does have championship advantage here. If he gets disqualified or counted out, he keeps his championship. I mean, Salas has been, for the most part, a fighting champion, so he hasn't gone for cheap tactics like that. But it is very possible that he would do something like that. And now goes to the cover. Could this be it? One. And a kick out at one. The ref, again, still too slow to the fucking count. Apologies for the language there. But I am getting a bit annoyed by the AI here in this game. Hopefully it's better in the next game. Though we've been saying that since like 2K20, so I don't have high hopes. And only a 2 count there from Andre Salas. And Andre Salas immediately jumping over that rope. Big double drop kick off that top rope there. Again, keeping the bigger man down. That's the strategy that you need to implement if you're going to win this match. And you just see the height that Andre Salas got there. He would have been nearly 8 feet in the air. A big double boot to the face there. Just targeting the head of Ruthless Rush here. Going for that equilibrium, trying to, you know, throw his mind off the game. And it's been a smart strategy, but Ruthless Rush back on the offensive here. Finally getting some steam here. Oh, here we go. Big tombstone pile driver. Goes to the cover now. 1, 2. And a kick out at 2. And Rush definitely trying to fight his way back here. I mean, this has basically been the champion's match the entire show. Big dropping of that elbow now. Oh, Rush with the roll-up. Could we see a new champion? No. Only a 1 count. Big clothesline there. And a big slam there from Andre Salas. Goes to the cover. Could this be it? 1, 2, 3, and it is. Andre Salas remains Intercontinental Championship. That is officially 2 championships staying in Parabellum's grasp here tonight in Last Stand. Will we see the last 3 championships stay in the hands of Parabellum here in this main event? We'll find out just shortly. But that was a tough fought battle from Ruthless Rush, but as I said, Andre Salas keeping that momentum, keeping that strategy of keeping Rush off his feet, making sure that he just could not continue to fight, you know, targeting the head, targeting the equilibrium, and just keeping him off his feet. It was the strategy that worked for Andre Salas, and he's showing why he is the Intercontinental Champion. So far, no one's been able to beat him, and that is definitely stayed true here tonight. And then you see the pinfall that won him the match. And the Intercontinental Champion staying with Parabellum, staying with Andre Salas. Congratulations, but for now, let's move on to our main event of the evening. And ladies and gentlemen, War Games is about to begin. And here we are about to show the rules. I apologize, I wasn't able to end my recording before I started coughing. But we have two teams kept in the cage with one member coming in at intervals, alternating teams, obviously. There will be a team that has an advantage as they get the first member. As soon as everyone enters the match, match begins. Pinfall or submission ends the match. People can bring weapons into the ring once they're entered into the match. But we find out who is kicking off for Team Next Gen, and it is Angelo Epps. Well, this is going to be an interesting showing. Angelo Epps had an interesting run so far here in this season. Come back from what was originally a career-threatening injury caused many years ago by the Millionaires Club, who are now 3 members of Parabellum. 3 members in this match in Diego Natoli, then Diego Danger, Matoto Lee, and Jeremiah Stone. After Jeremiah Stone, Angelo Epps' former tag team partner turned on him, and that was the whole catalyst for the Millionaires Club beginning. And then I think maybe Castro made the call. Maybe he just came back on his own accord. But once Parabellum started, Angelo Epps went to stop this man right here. The light heavyweight champion, Jeremiah Stone. And it's been a non-stop battle between these two for that light heavyweight championship. It was crowned on Jeremiah Stone between these two in their first ever match. Well, in their first match of the season when Angelo Epps returned. And they've been fighting non-stop ever since. And this could be their final time fighting. Could Angelo Epps walk out with that championship here tonight? Now, for those of you that didn't see part 1 and haven't been keeping up with the series, I'll explain how he could potentially win that championship. This match is a winner takes all titles match. So if Team Parabellum wins, they keep all the titles as is. But if Team Next Gen wins, then Angelo Epps will walk out with the light heavyweight championship. The Pride of Matt Diva and AJ Perez will walk out with the tag team championships, and Castro Lazara will walk out with the world championship. And we're off, and immediately Jeremiah Stone taking the early reins here in this match. Angelo Epps fighting back. Nice counter there from Jeremiah Stone. Now, I know I say this a lot, but these two know each other inside and out. Being former tag team partners, being former trainees together in their very first training school. These two grew up with each other, were best friends, and Jeremiah Stone threw it all away for a bit of money and a bit of fame. And I mean, so far it hasn't brought him a lot of success. I mean, he's held the Cruiserweight Championship in TKWF and the Light Heavyweight Championship here in WWA. So I guess it has given him some semblance of success, but it hasn't led to any, Intercontinental Championships, hasn't led to a World Championship. And what did it lose? He lost his best friend because of it. And that best friend became a bitter rival. And we're seeing the aftermath of all of that here tonight. And who do we have? Oh boy. It is AJ Perez. AJ Perez of the Pride coming in. That means Team Next Gen have the advantage here in this match. Until the next counter comes, it is a 2-on-1 situation here for Jeremiah Stone. Now, we saw this in the last War Games match with the women. The chance of the advantage is definitely a smart one to take. And we also saw that a good strategy is weaken someone, do a lot of submission moves, and try weaken them. So as soon as the match starts, you just lock in that submission, immediately get a tap. As we saw in the women's match with Cameron Newton being constantly submitted, and then eventually, as soon as the match started, they locked in a submission, she tapped, and the champion team kept all their titles. And AJ Perez and Angela Epps working very well together as a unit. I guess that's why they've become next gen. This is their first time officially teaming as like a full faction. Whereas Parabellum have been working together all season. They have history. I mean, 3 members of this team have been in a faction with each other for many years. And then Trav coming in, being the world champion, being the ringleader of this all. But for now, we have Matoto Lee of Parabellum coming in to even the odds, the big enforcer of the company. I mean, this man is one scary dude. He could easily be world champion if he wanted, but he's happy teaming with his best friend, Diego Natoli, as a very dominant tag team, holding those tag team titles, beating the Pride to take them in the first place, and the Pride want those titles back. They're going to fight their damnedest to win it here tonight. Big knee to the face. And so far, Next Gen have just taken the reins in this match, just beating down Parabellum every chance they get. And it's even going to get worse for Parabellum in about 5 seconds' time when the next member of Next Gen enters the ring, and it is big Matt Diva of the Pride. Is the big man going to bring some weapons in? We've had a sledgehammer brought in already. Oh, here we go, bringing in a table. Oh, he's going for another weapon now. Oh, and Jeremiah Stone grabbing that table. Could this be... Is that a stop sign? He brought a freaking stop sign into the War Games match? Well, I was going to say, Jeremiah Stone grabbed that table. Could it be a detriment to the team of Next Gen? Handing him the thing. Well, he handed him the stop sign, used it immediately against Big Matt Diva. While AJ Perez has had Matoto Lee on the ground for quite some time on the other side of the ring. And Epps and Diva beating down Jeremiah Stone. Now, this is a 3-on-1 situation currently until Diego Natoli of Parabellum enters the match. In 4 seconds' time, it'll be evened up 3-on-3. Now, a reminder of the rules. The match doesn't officially start until all members enter the ring. So that means once Trav enters, oh! Big Matt Diva with the Hurricane Rana through the table on Jeremiah Stone. Natoli brings in a chair. Is he going for another weapon? He is. And that stop sign has been used against Parabellum more than it has been against Next Gen. I suppose Next Gen were the ones that brought it into the ring. And Natoli just bringing in weapon after weapon. He's brought in a chair, he's brought in a kendo stick. Now he's brought in a second table after his tag team partner just got put through one not long ago. The big Perez cutter. But that being said, Natoli evening things up now. It is a 3-on-3. And it's become 2 2-on-1s. as the Pride are beating down Jeremiah Stone, while Natoli and Lee are beating down Angelo Epps. Now shortly, almost on cue, in 5 seconds time, we will have Castro Lazara entering the ring, the final man of Team Next Gen, the whole reason why this whole war of Parabellum started. And you see, he still has that face paint on, the darker side of Castro Lazara coming out here in this match. And it's been out ever since Trav hit the cutter on his wife and broke her neck, putting her in hospital, and she's still in hospital to this day. We hear that she's recovering well, and she should be out in a couple of months. But we wish her a speedy recovery, and that man up there in the cage, waiting to be let in, waiting for this match to officially start. Trav is the whole reason why that darker side of Castro Lazara came out. And Castro showing that darker side hasn't very much been, enough to beat Trav in the past. Last month, it wasn't enough to keep him down in that last man standing match. But here we go, 10 seconds until Trav enters the ring. 10 seconds, or 5 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. As soon as Trav officially steps foot in this ring, this match officially starts, meaning that any pinfall or submission will win the match. It's one fall to a finish to see which team walks out with all the gold, all the glory here in this match. A trash can coming in the ring from Trav. And another chair. And the match has officially started, ladies and gentlemen. One pinfall, one submission, and this match is officially over. Everyone here in this match so far, other than Trav, is pretty much bloodied, pretty weakened. And Lazara immediately turning his attentions to Trav the moment he steps in this ring. Big Perez cutter. And you see Perez and Castro double teaming Trav. Angelo Epps taking on Natoli. You have Jeremiah being also handled by saying, oh, we got a submission. Will we see a tap there? Will we see the tap? And we did! Oh my god, we have new champions! Ladies and gentlemen, Next Gen done it. They have walked into War Games and have walked out with 3 of the 5 titles that Parabellum have held deeply in their grasps for so many months now. Ever since Trav walked into the company, Parabellum have held championships around their waist. And other than Andre Salas's Intercontinental Championship and Kitty Hagen's Women's World Championship, those titles no longer stay in the grasp of Parabellum. We see Angela S walk out with the Light Heavyweight Championship. We see the Pride walk out with the Tag Team Championships. We see Castro Lazara finally grasping that World Championship that he has been chasing all season against Trav. And it all came down to Matoda Lee tapping to Matt Diva's single leg crab. There you see Next Gen successfully crowning those championships. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We will see you in the next episode as we find out what happens next in this war between Next Gen and Parabellum.